guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to spring. I guess it's probably been spring for a little bit. It's almost the end of March by the time this is going up, but I do have another seasonal polish picks here for you guys. We're going to do it just like last time, 8 polishes and a topper. And like I said before, I do really love doing these videos because it's kind of fun to curate your own collection and kind of see, like, if I were going to make a collection for a season or a holiday or any kind of a theme, what would my collection look like versus what's coming out in the mainstream or versus what other people kind of view it as. And so for me, the way that I personally put these together is I sit down, I think, okay, what is the season, spring, and are there any holidays within that season that I might want to touch on, maybe Easter or something like that, St. Patrick's Day? Are there any, specific things that are really like come to the forefront of my mind when I think of spring, which for me is like flowers, rainy weather, because it gets really like rainy and kind of gloomy here in Michigan. It still is a little bit gray during spring. I think about pastels a lot and maybe more muted tones because that's just kind of what comes with the territory. And once I have that kind of a image in my head, then I start thinking of like what colors would go with those. What polishes are the first things that come to my mind when I think of those colors? And do I want to do something with an interesting finish or something like that? So that's kind of how I put this one together today. And we're just going to swatch these 8 polishes and the topper out on a swatch wheel. And I will also insert some full hand swatches. My nails have been breaking a little bit, so I just want to give them a break as far as like swatching constantly. But they look just as good on the swatch wheel as they do on your finger, I swear. So without any further ado, I am going to get right into the swatches and then we will chat a little bit more at the end. Up first, we have Don't Be Sea Salty by China Glaze. This is just a really pretty kind of florally pink. It has a really fine glitter running through it that you can kind of see here on the swatch wheel. It is a little bit on the sheer side, so even after 2 coats, you can see nail line. And as you can tell, right before I put that second coat down, it does dry a little bit more matte. So I use top coat, but then again, I pretty much top coat just about everything. And you can kind of see that really fine glitter running through there. And then from my swatch photo, yeah, you can see my nail line pretty good, but I think it's a really pretty color for spring. Up next, we have Color Me Curious by Smith & Colt. And of course, I chose this because, cliche, it's sunny yellow. And we're finally getting some sun and we have some daylight. Sorry, my hand is getting completely in the way of this swatch. This is one I've reviewed on my channel before. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a really good cream yellow, and I really like kind of a bright, poppy, yellow nail polish. Can never have enough of those. So I threw this one in here. I would say you don't need this one in particular, but any kind of bright yellow will do. Next is Build Me Up Buttercup by Moonshine Manny, and this is kind of my newest obsession. It's on my nails in the video. I actually wore this for over a week, and it completely ruined my Instagram schedule, so sorry about that one. If you follow my Instagram, I didn't post today when I'm recording this voiceover. I believe 2 coats on the swatch wheel, but on my actual nails, I did 3 coats just because it does have kind of a, like, not quite jelly finish, so that you could kind of cover up that nail line, but it just reminds me of that, like, beautiful grass, mossy green kind of a color. Up next is Razzleberry by LA Colors. I just think that, like, textures and jellies and things like that are really fun for spring and summer, and wouldn't you know it, this one has both. So it just kind of reminds me of like lake water, ocean water. You can kind of start going back to the beach. It's still a little bit cold here, I guess, but you got this really fun glitter running through that deep blue jelly polish, and it looks like a lot of fun. Up next is Rocket Man by Different Dimension. This is a flaky polish. I think that Different Dimension does flakies really, really well. They put these really beautiful iridescent flaky chunks in there, and they are just so much fun on the nails. I find like these kind of periwinkle colors really do remind me of spring. It's one of the first colors I think of. I don't know if it's It's not quite a robin's egg blue, but it just kind of has that reminiscence to me. And this is another one where you can kind of see my nail line. I probably could have done a third coat, but from far away you could never tell. Up next is Godiva by Zoya. Now, I guess my reasoning for this is probably a little bit more summery than spring, but it just reminds me of the sand, which again, it's like people are starting to be able to go back to like the beach and the lakes and stuff like that. And this one is also one of the pixie dusts by Zoya, and if you're not familiar with those, they're these really textured, like kind of gritty, kind of bumpy, but not in an ugly way, and they feel kind of like sand on the nails. And I never put top coat on these because the natural finish of them is just, it's really fun. Next is Dragonfruit Freeze by 90 Lacquer. This one just kind of reminds me of like ice cream, vanilla ice cream with chocolate chunks running through it. And to me, like spring is kind of when we had a local ice cream store when I was growing up, and that place would finally open up and you could walk up and you get your ice cream and just sit and hang out and ride your bike to the park. And so that's kind of where the inspiration for this one, or at least my selection of this one, kind of came in. And it's just, I really like these flakies from 90. Next is Pleather Weather by China Glaze, and pretty much just the name says it all. You know, spring in the Midwest is, while it gets sunny and warm, it is also a little bit dingy and rainy, and it can be kind of gross. And so this color here just reminds me of the weather on some days. And it's fun too because it dries down kind of a semi-matte. It still has like a little bit of a shine to it, as you'll see from my swatch photos, but you can just throw a matte top coat on that if you don't like it and really take the last of that shine out. But it is really cool the way it is now too. And finally, we have the Linear Holo Taco by, of course, Holo Taco. And I chose this just because the sun is finally coming out, so you can finally see the reflections in your nail polishes. I've been going out for months and months and months and barely being able to see the holo in any of my holo nail polishes, so I feel like we kind of have to take advantage of the weather change, and so that's why I chose this topper, and I just threw it over the One Coat Black by Holo Taco as well, but you can throw it over anything. So what do you guys think? Do you theme your polishes that you pick to wear based around like the season we're in? For me, typically, I don't. I mean, there are some polishes that I lean more towards during certain seasons or certain holidays, but I'm not like strict about it. I'm not like, it is Easter, I have to wear pastels. I'm not that way. But I think it's fun to pick stuff out that is kind of like representation, that is kind of a representation of the holiday or whatever. It's fun to theme your manicure around that. And that being said, I do have like an absolute favorite out of these polishes that I picked, and I'm actually wearing it on my nails right now. I put this on Monday. It is now Friday. I have not worn a manicure for 5 days in at least a year because I like to change my nail polish that much. But this nail polish is so good that I don't even think I'm going to take it off tonight. I think I'm going to leave it on until maybe next Monday I'll finally take it off. But before I get into the crazy details, this is Moonshine Manny's Build Me Up Buttercup. I'm going to talk about this. I got this month. I won it in a giveaway by Cork Manicures. This is the first time trying Moonshine Manny, but this polish has completely sold me on the brand. This is by Phoebe Moon here on YouTube. She does a lot of like swatch videos, but this is her brand, and it hasn't chipped at all. Like, there's no chipping whatsoever. And I've been, I type all day, every day. I'm not like super rough on my nails, but at the same time, I have some manis that chip within a couple days before, in between the short manis that I do. So this polish is just insanely good. And it just reminds me of that super fresh, kind of like still wet grass from when the snow melts. And I just think this is you could wear this I could justify this polish for any season, I'm sure. I think in winter, perfect Grinch polish. Autumn, it's like, the leaves just before they turn a different color. A summer, I don't know. I love Shrek. Like, this is a great polish, and I'm going to definitely buy more from Phoebe Moon's brand. So ringing endorsement from me. It's just one of those ugly, pretty colors that is just perfect. It's just perfect. I don't want to take this off. But other than that, you know, I mean, obviously I like all the polishes that I showed you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have shown them to you. I wouldn't have picked them. But this one is just, I haven't had a polish that I didn't want to take off in a long time. And so this is just, it's kind of refreshing, right? But yeah, anyways, sorry for rambling. Let me know down below what you like to wear in the spring, if there's any particular polish that screams spring to you. I would love to know what you guys think, or let me know if there's any polishes that I showed, or like colors or finishes that you also really enjoy for the springtime. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.